Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, it is I am the one and only Sonic the Hedgehog here, aka the Blue Blur, aka Blue Justice, and I am from the likes of the Mexi Toys videos once again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Mario vs Donkey Kong 2, Launch the Minis for the Nintendo DS. So, last time we have basically managed able to completely done with everything in terms of floor 1, or technically floor 2, depending on your preference. So as a result, we did manage to win through Tropical Turmoil, and overall we actually did the actual Gold Star runs, so relatively speaking though, it did take me a couple of attempts to able to get the Gold Stars as a result. So today, for this video is that we're going to be moving on to the next floor, which appears to be taking place in Pipeworks. Now, the main emphasis on this world, excuse me, I do apologize for that particular belchiness at the earliest point if possible. But either way though, because once again I was been eating too much chili dogs after the events of today's days, of course, the Coronation Day, which I suppose I should probably explain more details about that later down the road. So either way though, so as you can see, we stumbled across into the gimmick where basically in the first stage in Pipeworks, basically it's going to be filled to the brim with pipes. So as a result, we stumbled across into the rotate pipes. And what you can do with it is that you can able to change specific directions of where the pipe's going to lead Mini Mario to. So either way though, chances are we're going to be doing that a lot, and especially noticeable we got able to use those pipes a lot. Because get it, because you know, this world is obviously called Pipeworks, so it makes a little bit more sense. So either way though, as I said before about the fact that today's day is not only for the sake of the forms of our fact that today is the Coronation Day, for the sake of the forms of King Charles III and all that stuff, for those of you who lived in the UK, but it's also short things worth noting for, I think the day is pretty obvious, is that today's day is of course the 6th of May in 2023 today, so relatively speaking though, everything else will be pretty much accounted for the sake of the forms of the day itself. So either way though, I think we should probably guide Mini Mario to the right and activate the yellow switch, so just in case we can able to traverse into the goal itself. Although, I will admit though right away though, I do apologize if my commentary gets a bit still to that point. I think it's pretty obvious because it's been about, I would classify for saying it's been about 6 days ago since I actually last played this, because after all, that's, well, I was being busy recently, so either way though, and hopefully we get ourselves a gold star because of non-stop bonus, so either way though, and there's also another new gimmick that we'll come across into right now, and that's what appears to be the water level system. And basically, if you're most able to swipe the touchscreen to the actual lever, it actually managed able to increase the water level, or if you can able to actually lower the water level. So relatively speaking though, and of course keep in mind though, we don't want to let those Mini Marios go in the water because they will die in the process right there. So either way though, yeah, let's get to it. So either way though, now I was very shocked and surprised that unlike the Alfonso Voe does in the future installments in the series, specifically, the one on the DSiWare called Minis March Again, that most of the levels in that game is like bite-sized version of the forms that this game does, because as far as I'm aware, that with Minis March Again, it's basically like the extension version of the forms of, or should I say, the mini version of the forms of Mario vs Donkey Kong 2, like runs in the exact same engine, although the only noticeable difference between Minis March Again compared to the forms of this is that with the cutscenes in mind, they are pretty much still images, as opposed to the forms of, you know, full motion videos during the forms of this particular game, which I was very pleased about the fact that we were able to stumble across into ourselves full motion videos in this game, because aside from all that stuff though, I'm quite surprised that none other games attempt to do that nowadays. But either way though, that's just the way how it goes, I'm presuming so anyway. So either way though, let's just go ahead and drag the Mini Mario upwards to the pipe, and I'm also able to go ahead and grab the remaining coins down there, and just also keep in mind, don't let the Mini Mario fall down the highest height, because that also counts as a death. So at least specifically one of those Mini Mario's death as far as I'm aware. But at least again, you don't need to necessarily worry about the false instant death moments here and there. unlike the future installments of the series, that if you let one of your Mini Mario dies from any other hazard, you have to redo the entire level again. And on top of that, in Mini Smash Again's case, basically you have a life system. So I think I've already pointed things out since the beginning portion of the playthrough. So either way, now let's go and get on to probably is the best level in the game, in my opinion. And this is the way about the fact that not only does this level seems pretty easy and self-explanatory, but also as you can tell, we're now going to be able to take control of 6 Mini Marios. Well, specifically 5 regular ones and 1 golden variation. So hopefully we'll guarantee able to get ourselves a golden star in this run. So relatively speaking though, always make sure you save the gold Mini Mario for last, just in case you get yourselves a grand score. So either way though, and also keep that in mind if you need able to collect everything as well, just in case if you want to get a perfect bonus or somewhat. So either way though, and I think that's everything. So, jeez, that's a lot of points we got there. Oh, and also keep that in mind though, there's also another difference what I found out. Oh wow, we somehow instantly got to a silver star already. And eventually we'll get ourselves the gold star from the perfect bonus, and for non-stop with additional more points. So that should be super top notch. So either way, now let's go ahead and move on to level 2-4. So let's see what this level is going to be like. And this is where we get ourselves the introduction to the returning enemies from the likes of in the first game, which appears to be the Thwomps. So of course, keep that in mind though, if you get closer to the Thwomp will try to able to strike you down. So because of that though, however, if you dare touch them, that counts as a death. However, if you also managed able to let one of those Mini Marios get, well, if the Thwomp somehow managed able to Thwomp them, that also counts as a death. So yeah, you have to watch out for that at all times. So, and I'm pretty sure about the fact that recently during the forms have been today though, about the fact that recently, if I've heard, that Shadow he's already pre-booked for the likes of the forms of Fast and Furious 10 already. So either way though, because I'm sure enough he's going to be inviting Silver and maybe potentially me. Well, I don't know if he cares me too much, unlike the forms of how it does it for Silver. So either way though, because you know what I'm saying about the fact, I'm pretty sure both Shadow and Silver just managed able to cope with each other or something like that after the forms of that particular, you know what I mean, with that time travel paradox shenanigans, which I don't feel like trying to mention about that over again because I'm not gonna get myself my PTSD after the forms of that particular bestiality when it comes to likely for Princess Elise and all that stuff, but still. Alright, so hopefully we should be able to get So, there's also another thing I should probably explain about this as well, and I supposedly that both Mighty and Ray have also both forgot to mention about, that recently Iron Man 3 has now turned 10 years old, ever since I would classify for saying since May, in during the films have been 2013, like, I remember watching it back in the films have been on Disney Plus after all, and I do love the fact that in the beginning portion of the film, it starts off as the forms of Iron Blue song is actually playing. So either way though, that might be something worth noting for the sake of the forms of, well, despite that song is a bit depressing at first, but I will admit though right away, I really love the vibes to it, especially with all that music conversations or anything else like that. So of course we're able to use those double hammers again, just to ensure that we will get rid of those shy guys immediately, so just in case they're able to clear our paths and all that stuff though. And luckily though, if you really want to go for the forms of the non-stop bonus, if you couldn't tell already, luckily if one of those Mini Marios did somehow manage able to get out of the pipe, thankfully it does not count the forms of deactivate and non-stop. The only thing you can able to actually activate non-stop bonus, or potentially if you don't want to have, you know, non-stop bonus, is that if you accidentally tap Mini Mario, then obviously your non-stop bonus will be gone. So I guess that makes it pretty obvious for the sake of convenience, that is. So anyway, and we should get ourselves a golden star from here. And I was very surprised also is that I'm pretty sure for the majority of the levels in the game so far is actually going to get pretty dang quick if you pretty much know exactly how to do. For, oh jeez, we stumbled across into those another toys right there, which if you somehow managed able to get close to one, I believe they'll try to shove you off, and potentially speaking even worse, if you dare able to actually come across into a wall, while he managed able to push you into a wall, you get squished. So, it's kind of similar to one of those enemies you find in Journey Forms within a spooky house level in the original game. So, but either way though, I suppose I should probably get the actual gameplay style out of the way. Now, some people don't mind the forms of the gameplay style in this game. Well, I'm personally not a big fan of this gameplay style because usually I just somehow managed able to get used to with the forms of the platforming puzzle-esque vibes to it in the original game, as well as the forms of Donkey Kong 94, because relatively speaking, both games share the exact same gameplay style and all that stuff. And that was actually super duper close right there, because if I let that Mini Mario down there get flattened, I will potentially lose my Mini Mario for, you know what I'm saying about the forms of, well, what these Mini Marios can do in each and every single world is that there is actually a Mini Mario counter. And basically, if you do manage to able to gather every single Mini Marios in a goal in each world, basically that adds up to your health amount if you try to take down Donkey Kong. So, I'm guessing that's what the Mini Marios are for the sake of the forms within each world. So, either way, that basically does it for this level, so... Although supposedly enough, though, is about the fact that, unlike the forms of how it does it in the future games in the series, well, excluding buddy forms of Tipping Stars, because for whatever reason, in Tipping Stars, for some reason has no boss fights at all. I'm guessing because of the rush development, or perhaps even maybe because it was on the Wii U to begin with. Well, usually, relatively speaking, it was a bit tricky to explain. Or perhaps even maybe that Mario and Donkey Kong had enough for the fight, or something like that. And one thing I should also mention is that about the fact that, speaking of Tipping Stars though, it just has this rushed intro. Like, all it just shows is just the actual, like, static image about the forms of Donkey Kong kidnapping Pauline once again. And as a result, that Mario just say, "Hey, come back here." And that's it. So as a result, pretty much bare bones intro, I might add. So, but at least I must will say this right now, between Miniland Mayhem, alongside with the forms of this game, does have good intros. So, but either way though, because it lasts for a bit longer, and on top of that, you know, I absolutely adore the full motion videos in the forms of the intro, including the ending as well, that I'm sure that you might find out, enjoying at some point in the later weekends to come. But that's just how I think about it. So, either way though, I supposedly enough, I can also mention about this as well, is about the fact that, well, when it comes to, like, tackling for the future games in the series though, when it comes to the Mini Mario series of games, it's kind of tricky to set up, especially because the majority of them has never been re-released on Virtual Console games for some reason. Like, I know for a fact that Miniland Mayhem is one of them, and also say applies with the DSiWare game called Mini Smarch Again, and straight to the point that we still haven't got the 3DS capture device to able to capture footage of Minis on the Move. Well, despite that Minis on the Move did say Mario and Donkey Kong Minis on the Move instead of Mario vs. Donkey Kong as the title, but at least potentially we're able to actually tackle through Tipping Stars, because that was on the Wii U, so at least that's that. And also say applies with Mini Mario and Friends Amiibo Challenge. And after that particular game's released in 2016, we haven't heard any of the new Mini Mario games since the forms of Amiibo Challenge, because as far as I'm aware, I'm not exactly sure what happened to the forms of the rest of the Mario vs. Donkey Kong series nowadays. Although, I would love to see a remake of the first game on a Game Boy Advance or something, or perhaps even maybe it'll come to the forms of the Switch Online expansion pack or something like that. Well, because potentially speaking, we now actually have the Game Boy Advance games on the Nintendo Switch right now for its expansion pack and stuff like that, so... Oh jeez, solving this particular things on screen can be felt a bit convoluted at first, but either way though, I'm sure I was able to focus on that Mini Mario down there, so I can able to grab the next card, along with the forms of another selections of coins right over there too, so I'm also able to focus on those. But, yeah, unfortunately though, for those of you probably wondering about the forms of the news updates on something, unfortunately though, I think that's as far as I can think about it. So, as a result, I mean, relatively speaking though, about the fact that I'm very happy about the fact that King Charles is now a part of the King, of course, or the King of England now. So, as a result of that kind of stuff though, that Well, as I mentioned this before, that I managed able to have a lot of chili dogs thanks to, I believe, I would classify for saying that Blossom did actually make a couple of them for me, although potentially speaking though as a friendly kind of way, so, because I'm sure enough that she loves spending time with Mighty, so. Alright, so here we go on to the 9th room, so. This might seem self-explanatory right here, at least at first glance. Although I was expecting to able to try to activate that mini Mario right onto the thing right there, but I think I'll focusing on 2 of them for now, so. And relatively speaking though, that unlike the future games in the series as well, that in the forms of in every single Donkey Kong boss fight, that you do have to able to collect the card in order able to complete your progression or somewhat. Although potentially speaking in Mini Smarch again, you do get yourselves a special level, whilst in this game you do have your special minigame to play. And I'm pretty sure in the forms of in Miniland Mayhem, you also get yourselves a special level, but I'm pretty sure that in Tipping Stars doesn't, so. Gee, no wonder why that Tipping Stars is probably the lowest ranking games of the entire series as a result, so. Or perhaps even maybe because the forms of power factor, well, it's a bit tricky to explain because again, it's been about 6 days ago since actually I've last played this, so. But when it comes to likely for what's going to be up next for the likes of the forms of the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack selections of games, as far as I'm aware, I'm hoping that Mario Party 3 will be up next for the N64 lineup, or if not, maybe potentially they'll able to actually add Kirby and the Amazing Mirror next, but again, it's a bit difficult to explain because I know for a fact that, well, we still need Forms of May after all, so either way though, hopefully we're able to see what happens there, and especially concerning about the fact that, well, potentially speaking, at this point in time, we've only got about roughly 6 days to go until, you know, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is finally going to be releasing. So either way though, yeah, that's what I can think about it. So, and as far as when I look back on the forms of Iron Man 3, I do enjoy it for quite a bit. Well, mind you, about the fact that that was, relatively speaking, the last entry of the forms of the numbered entry, Iron Man films before, you know, that was, you know, one of those adventure films or somewhat. Again, I apologize for that commentary, it's a bit still to that point again, because there's just not much else I can talk about, so. Anyways, let's go with this next minigame here. As usual, 25 points to smash, so. Anywho, so I should also mention about this is about the fact that there's another difference between the forms of the American version of the game compared to the forms of how it does in the European version, as you probably do not know, that the actual font of the timer, if you into the forms of the regular levels, basically the European version size of the numbers is actually in a normal size, whilst compared to the American version, for some reason it's more likely like a big number size. So, either way though, I'm not exactly sure why they're going for that change, and same applies with the actual font as well, so that might be the reason for it. And also we've unlocked something from here, so potentially speaking we should be all good to go at this point. So now let's go ahead and take on Donkey Kong. And let's just say it could be something related to pipes with piranha plants. So, even though for whatever reason in Mini Smarch again, that the actual boss battle in the forms of one of those locations doesn't make that much sense to me. Although, mind you, because of how the fact that in the DSiWare installment that it only contains some similarities as in this game does. So, either way though, but hey, that's something I suppose. So anyways, in this boss battle right here is about the fact that you have to able to once again use the cannon to fire the Mini Mario right at Donkey Kong, and potentially speaking, as soon as when Donkey Kong pops out of the pipe, it's your chance to able to actually attack him, but you have to be very careful of the forms of those fireballs, thanks to the forms of those piranha plants keep spewing out. But then, as a result, if you lose one of your Mini Marios, I'm assuming you don't get a perfect run, and on top of that, you won't be able to actually get a golden star, I'm assuming so. But, yeah, rinse and repeat is you have to wait until when he sticks out the pipe, when he goes like, ooh, sound effects, and then that way you can able to strike him out. Although you can deal with him the quicker way while his head's sticking out, but I wouldn't recommend that particular method because obviously he will try to avoid you for quickest time. So, either way. And there we go, that basically does it for Pipe Works. So relatively speaking though, Assuming, of course, if you ever played the American version and the Japanese version, it's classified as Floor 3. So, whilst it follows the European version, it is called it Floor 2. So, anyway, so that does it for that. And I suppose we'll move on to the next floor, which appears to be floor 3. And also we've unlocked something in this thing as well. So, yeah, we're now on to floor 3, or technically floor 4. And that's what appears to be Magnet Mania. Alright, seems like a very interesting name for a world. So, either way, I suppose we should probably end things off at this point right here. So join us next time for more Let's Play of Mario vs. Donkey Kong 2. Instead, we'll move on to the next world, which appears to be Magnet Mania. So I'll see you guys next time. Later, fellas.